Hi, my name is Linda Cirulli-Burton, and welcome to this channel named Above the Battleground, ACIM. Above the Battleground is based on the teachings of a spiritual self-study path known as A Course in Miracles. I've been a student of A Course in Miracles since 1992, and recently, and I think because of the chaos that appears to be going on in this world, I wanted to share some of the great insights that have impacted me from the spiritual path with the hopes that they will go deeper within me and, of course, maybe even be of some benefit to you. So today the topic that I chose to handle was a monster one for me, and that is that the world is an illusion. Now, I will say that I am familiar with ancient traditions in terms of the fact that the Hindus refer to the Maya, the world of illusion, that the Buddhists say everything is illusion, all is illusion, and that Christianity itself says this is not your home. Your home is somewhere else. Your home is real over there, not here. So, as someone who embraces the concept and really doesn't know how to explain it for myself, it's been murder. So the thing is that once again, I'm not a science person. I had to memorize the Earth Science book in order to pass the test. I'm not that. And in the desire to pursue some sort of understanding about illusion, of course, I looked up the word of illusion, and it will say something that is believed to be real, but it is not. I even came across a quote from Albert Einstein, which says, "The greatest illusion in the world is the illusion of separation." Right on, Albert, I get that. Okay. Now, in my research, in my studies, to try to come to a better understanding, I've listened to a lot of podcasts and done a lot of reading. And a podcast called Next Soul Level Podcast, really a wonderful podcast. And I became enamored of one of the guests named Greg Baden, Gregg Baden, Baden. And Greg is a geologist who is also a physics, mathematics scholar, and was a computer programmer back in the day when computers filled entire rooms, right? So anyway, he posits that the world, we are in a simulation. Now, once again, people say, no, I'm real. My senses, I can see, I have a body. I can hear, I can taste, I can smell, I can touch. I'm a body. So I know it's crazy, but how would we really know whether or not we were in a simulation? So, of course, there are flight simulators, right? But before I talk about that, I want to just say that one of the fascinating things that I saw when I was a little girl, I loved Rod Serling's Twilight Zone. I loved it. And one of for me, because it's impacted me, I mean, decades later, I can still remember this. There were astronauts, and they were in a spaceship. They were flying the spaceship, and everything started to go wrong in that spaceship. And they started to get anxious, crazy, despairing. I just remember a lot of emotion. So this goes on and on and on. And you get tensed up watching it. You get crazy. Then the ending came. And I still can't believe it. The door opened. And they had never left Earth. To me, that particular story stands out. So when Greg Baden was talking about us being in a simulation, I was thinking about the absolute chaos that goes on inside these worlds, or this particular world. It really made a lot of sense. Another thing that I heard him say was that often when you're in a simulation, let's say that the purpose of the simulation is to learn. Maybe that's what it is. To learn. So when you're in the simulation and things get crazy, you call out. When you believe that there has to be another way, you call out. And the only saving that can come for you is something, someone, some being that is outside that simulation. And, for me, I realize for me, it's Jesus and the Holy Spirit. For you, it could be Krishna, it could be Allah, it could be your ancestors, it could be an angel, whatever you perceive to be eternal, lasting, enduring, unconditional love. Maybe the craziness inside of that simulation may compel you to say, no, there has to be another way. So I was really, really fascinated by this. Then, as I did a little bit deeper into virtual reality simulation, and I'm going to tell you that trying to figure out the difference between simulation and VR really was confusing to me, because right now, of course, people put on headsets and they go into other worlds, and it's like a real immersive experience versus maybe a simulation where there's computer screens in front of you. Who knows? I'm not capable of discussing the differences, if there are differences. But I will tell you that I was fascinated by something which said that there were perhaps 3 different forms of simulation. One, the bottom, was fully immersive, where all of your senses, where you would be involved in this virtual reality that was fully immersive. Then there was another that was the semi-immersive. And I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I would say about me, Linda, that after all these years, I'm really operating in a semi-immersive level, where there's times I'm just right inside of this crazy world, and then other times where I've really unplugged. And then there is this non-immersive. So this is very interesting. Non-immersive, semi-immersive, fully immersive. So what when you're non-immersive? Well, I think that some of the great beings who have walked this earth, this is what my Jesus knew. He was non-immersive. Jesus was in this world, but not of this world. And that is where I believe most of us on our spiritual paths are aiming: non-immersive simulation. Well, thank you for being with me for part 1 of my examination of the concept of illusion. I hope that you'll come back for part 2. This really is me grappling with a topic that I don't understand, but that I believe. So it's kind of fun for me to try to pursue some knowledge in this arena. So thank you so much for being here.